I met Vonny, how many years ago now? At least a decade.
Huh, must have been.
Must have been.
Yeah.
Hinder was still the manager.
Yeah.
And he said, oh, we have to have this person, this friend of mine, come in and speak to our office, our company. And I said, oh, what's she all about? He says, oh, she sells branded products. And I said, I'm not interested. And then that was it. So Vonny continues to call me and call me and call me. And Hinder kept on saying, look how beautiful.
Positive persistence.
The quality of the stuff that she represents and what she was all about, I didn't know. I was thinking coffee cups, and there's another set of coffee cups that I need. And when we started talking about gifting and referrals and building your database and all that sort of stuff. And all of a sudden, the whole conversation changed. Particularly when I found out that Vonny was the top salesperson at her company for years, still are. Client base of around 3,000 people, is that right? 3,000
residential in-home clients and 2,000 realtors and mortgage brokers.
And so the whole
5,000.
part of Vonny's business is helping people build their referral business. And part of it is through how you treat them.
Yeah, all of it is.
Stay in touch with them.
Yeah.
And she also represents a really nice product that you can choose to brand in multiple different ways.
Yeah.
That are impressive. I was going to bring some because I have 4.
It's okay. Yeah.
Home, and the quality is amazing. Actually, the first one I got was a Christmas gift from you and your dad. And
so good. See, we talked about that, yeah.
And I pulled it out this morning, I looked at it and said, yep, that was the first Cutco knife I had, and it's still perfect. And it's got to be a decade old. And so Vonny, we're lucky because Vonny was in, you were speaking again.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with Richard Robbins. Does anyone know RRI, Richard Robbins? Yeah, I think he comes to speak sometimes here. And yeah, I was on stage with him for a few minutes.
Yeah, and
it's cool.
And Glenn English and Tate's, Sergeant Tate's.
Yeah.
They were there too.
Bryden.
Bryden and Christy.
Good clients of ours.
So, so you're going to find that, I'm not going to steal your thunder.
Oh,
but you kind of worked your way into the heart of Meadowtowne. And myself, so welcome, floor is yours.
Thank you. Best intro ever. Can I do that too? I actually kind of like this. Good morning. Thank you guys so much for coming. I really, really do appreciate it. And I have a special place in my heart for Meadowtowne too, truly. Like I think I was telling a few of you, we were talking a little bit about this. This is the first office, so I'm from Calgary, and I was out here for Richard Robbins. This is the first office I ever spoke at in Ontario as we were expanding across Canada. So it's really, that was a number of years ago. So today I just want to, my business, by the way, is really similar to yours as a realtor or mortgage broker. I just sell different things. Except there is one key difference and distinction between my business and yours other than the product we sell. We as Cutco reps, by the way, does anyone know of Cutco or heard of Cutco? Okay, yeah. Does anyone have Cutco in their home? This won't be a sales pitch, I promise you. Okay, but we as Cutco reps, we weren't allowed to build our business in any other way other than through referral. So I want you to imagine right now a world in real estate where that was the case for you, okay? So you really have to imagine right now and think today, as of today, you can't build your business in any other way other than through referral. So imagine no Zillow, no online lead generation, you can't pay for leads, there's no Facebook ads allowed or Google ads or anything like that, no social media. And that's what it was like for me and pretty much still is to this day, other than some engagement on social media, of course. We weren't allowed to door knock or cold call. No advertising allowed, no bus benches. I mean, that would have been weird, right? Knife girl on a bus bench. But that's been my world for 30 years. So 30 years ago, okay, I was talking to, what's your, Debbie? 25 years in real estate. So I'm 30 years in business, 30 years. Anyone around the 30-year mark in the room? Oh yeah, Alex, excellent. And Debbie, 25 years in real estate. But 30 years ago, I started in business. Can you guys believe that? Clearly, I was 5 years old. They gave me a bag of knives and said, good luck, don't cut yourself. Just kidding, I'm not a comedian, clearly. My wife always says, don't try to be funny. When you're trying to be funny, you're not funny, but anyway. But yeah, I started when I was 18. I was taking marketing at University of Calgary. I never wanted to be in sales, actually, but I stumbled upon this. And like I said, I had to build it 100% through referral. So truly, really, honestly, how would you do business differently if you only had to build it through referral? Like, just imagine that, think about. Well, guaranteed, if that was the case for you as of today, you would make the most of every relationship you already have, right? So that's what I learned to do. I started with my sphere. I wrote down every single person I knew, right? And that my mom knew. I mean, I was 18 years old, but you could do the same thing, right? You write a list of everybody in my sphere, right? If you were in my mom's address book at the time, you were getting a phone call. And I was like this awkward shy. I wasn't like you see here today with a little bit of confidence, but I started with my sphere and I called them up and I went and had coffees with them and I practiced my presentation, much like your listing and buying presentation, except I was educating them on knives, okay? So same thing. And I made a point, every presentation I did, I shared how important referrals were to me because they were the only way to do business. I shared how important they were to me before I started every presentation. I spoke about that, I verbalized that, and I asked for referrals every single time at the end of every presentation. Once I got the hang of that, I averaged 7 written down referrals per presentation I did, whether they bought or not. And I sit here before you with a database of 5,000 clients 30 years later, built strictly through referral and relationship building, becoming the #1 Cutco gifting rep in North America. So, like you, I care a lot about results. I care a lot about referrals. I mean, how many of us want referrals? Anyone? Or is anyone like, no, I have way too many referrals? Don't we want referrals more than anything else? Like if I handed you a paid lead today versus a referral from someone you know or like or trust, yeah, you take that over any piece of business out there, right? So I care a lot about results just like you. I care a lot about referrals. I care deeply about my relationships. And if we want a lot of referrals, if we want it to rain referrals, we need to elevate the level of relationship and the level of experience. Because whether you sell knives, gifts like I do, or homes, people are at the core, period, right? We're dealing with human beings. That's why I love this quote from Scott. Does anyone know Scott Stratton? One of my heroes. He wrote Unmarketing and Unselling. If you believe business is about relationships, make building them your business. And I think that's part of the culture here. I don't think this is anything new. Alex would talk to you about this, your managers, Jason, everybody. But so how do you build them? No, really, like how do you build not just average relationships, but abundant ones, people that keep coming back, that refer you, especially as you grow and scale. Because the one thing I know is the higher you get in production, the harder it is to maintain individual engagement and connection with your clients. We wind up, can anyone relate to that? Like if you've been in business a while, you get busy, you're like, oh my God, I gotta call this person, I gotta stay in touch with this person. There's so many relationships to manage, right? And so as we grow and scale, how do we, if one thing I know, as we grow in the production, it's harder to keep in touch. We wind up playing catch up and losing opportunities for that engagement and therefore connection and therefore referrals to emerge. The one thing I know too is as we grow and scale our business, what doesn't change is people's need to feel valued. If they don't feel valued, they might leave us as salespeople. Did you guys know 68% of people leave their salesperson because they feel you're indifferent to the relationship? They think you don't care. You do care, but do they know that? So ultimately, I think the question that I'd like to address here today and answer in the next 20 minutes is, as you scale your business, how do you scale thoughtfulness and meaningful engagement? Because I think the answer to that is the answer to abundant referrals and uncommon loyalty. And I think there's 2 steps to this. The first of 2 is to play generously and give first. Okay. 30 years of business later, I believe generosity is the most powerful tool to unlock loyalty and referrals. It's the currency of abundant relationships. And what I mean by abundant relationships is win-win relationships, people that are giving to you, that you're giving to, loyal clients, advocates, referral sources, all of that. Now, how do I define generosity? It's not always monetary, but it can be. Generosity I define as giving without attachment or expectation of return. Now, generosity can take many forms. We can be generous with our value, right? Our skill, our market knowledge. You guys being here today, like I was saying on the Richard Robbins stage, 30 years of business later, 15 years in this industry serving you guys, like I'm constantly studying. Like I'm constantly trying to master my craft. There's always something new to learn, right? Now it's ChatGPT and AI, and but even like I've given this presentation on a main stage in July in front of 750 realtors. I still went through it this morning before I came here, just kind of always trying to elevate and master my craft so I can bring as much value as possible out there. Okay, so we can be generous in terms of the skill we have for our clients, right? Our market knowledge. We can also be generous in terms of gifts. We can be generous in terms of client appreciation. We can be generous in terms of our time and attention and presence when we're talking to a client and they're struggling, right? And we're zoned in, we're present for them, right? We can be generous in a lot of ways. Here's the challenge. It's easy to be generous when things are good, right? When deals are flowing, clients are calling, referrals are coming in. Oftentimes I find generosity as a reactive thing. Oh, thank you. Okay, I'm going to be generous here. Sometimes, not always. But it's a lot harder to be generous when things are a struggle. When interest rates are really high and the market's kind of crazy and it's been a tough year and deals aren't flowing and you're wrestling with your own expectations of what business should look like. Or, how many of you have been in business for longer than 6 months? Or longer than a year? Let's do that. Okay, so it's been an interesting year. So it's harder to be generous when things are tough for whatever reason, or we're going through difficult times in any capacity in our business or in our life. And it's in those moments I'm going to encourage you to lean into generosity with whatever resources you have. Lean in and be generous and show up and give first. Okay, so guess who I get to talk about right now? I'm going to tell you a story. And it's funny that that Alex is in this room, but as I was prepping this talk,
preview your presentation next time.
I'm going to turn red. But Alex and I have a good relationship. We've brought value to each other through the years, like Alex was saying. We've known each other for years. And earlier this year, I was trying to contact Alex and speak to you guys on Zoom, and we just weren't connecting. And I thought to myself, this is a relationship I could strengthen. And so I realized I didn't know a lot about Alex. So I hopped on social media and I found out he liked to fish. And I also found a quote that was meaningful to him. So I had this gift done up for him, a Cutco fishing knife, and I engraved the quote on the blade. And I sent it off to him. Why? Because I believe in showing love with sharp things. So I sent it off to him, and I want to share with you the message I sent with it, because so much of giving and gifting in that is not as much what you give. It is important what you give, I do believe that. However, it's more the intention behind what you're giving and the message behind it. So let me read this. So this is the note I wrote. Alex, I saw a quote on your social media and it inspired me, and I know you love to fish, so I hope you don't mind me engraving that inspiration into something that gives you joy. I hope we get to reconnect this year, and in the meantime, happy fishing, fighting, and living. Happy 20th birthday to Meadowtowne too. How amazing is that? So I sent this gift off to Alex and didn't think anything of it. Honestly, I just went about my business, doing my thing, kind of that letting go of anything coming back or attachment. And a couple weeks later, I wake up to an email in my inbox. Turns out it's not an email at all. It's a blog post that Alex has written about me and this gift and the impact it had. And I'm reading this, and then he's like, did you get me? Now he's trying to get a hold of me. He's tracing me down. We get on the phone. Finally, I think we got connected that day. We were on the phone. And I remember that conversation as being one of the best we've ever had. I felt like our relationship was deepened in that moment. And on that phone call, Alex says to me, he's like, I just sent that to, we had 4,300 agents I sent that to with a 63% open rate, Vonny. And by the way, I got a bunch of business from that. And he invites me to speak to his team, and that's why I'm standing here today. Why I'm telling you this story is because it reminded me that generosity is not just something that we do, it's who we choose to be in any given moment, and to show up first and give first with, whatever resources you have. Which leads me to tell you about Taylor Hack. You may not know Taylor. He's a top agent in Edmonton, runs an incredible team. I think he's one of the earliest Hall of Famers in his brokerage ever. He's one of our clients. We do some gifts for him and his team. Taylor called me up. Taylor is such a great model of giving first to what he calls energize his relationships, okay? So Taylor calls me up a year and a half ago or so. He goes, Vonny, I want to do something special for my VIPs, okay? My top 5-star reviewers in this case. For you, it could be your top referral sources or your top advocates or clients, multiple repeat clients. And again, I know some of you are new, so it could be like people in your sphere you want to love on. Anyway, we put together a gifting campaign to surprise and delight his top 5-star reviewers. Okay, he's going to talk about something called the little knife that could. It's just a gift we do, one of the most popular knives, okay? Check this out. Watch what happened. Oh.
Taylor here, I hope that you're doing awesome. I'm going to do some math for you. So we sent out about 27 of the little knives that could, and based on my estimate, I think we've 10x'd our money in 60 days. So not all the deals are written yet, but what I'm saying is that we have almost got a 20% referral rate using this mechanism in 60 days since implementation. So that makes me feel awesome. In fact, that makes me feel...
Yeah. Does anyone know that song? There was a swear word right off after that, so professional, we cut that out. Okay. Actually, if you want motivation or inspiration in the morning, you're getting up, you're doing your thing. Dr. Dre is actually that song. It's really great. Okay. So Taylor gave first, and I think many of us probably have examples of giving first in our businesses and in our lives. The thing is, it can be sporadic and hard to maintain, and again, inconsistent if we don't have a system around it, right? So again, comes back to, how do you scale that? Thoughtfulness and meaningful engagement. Well, number 2, step 2 of 2, you build a gratitude machine. Okay, what's a gratitude machine? Well, funny you ask. It looks like this. And it consists of 3 things, 3 base things you can add to it. But a gratitude machine is a consistent system of appreciation to love on your relationships, on your most valuable relationships. And it consists of, I'm going to walk through these 3 things, proactive reach outs, cards, and gifts. With my promise to you, if you execute on these 3 things consistently, you will absolutely have abundant referrals and uncommon loyalty, consistently and thoughtfully. Okay, you ready? Proactive reach outs. How many of you know we have to reach out to our clients? Our sphere. Does anyone sometimes have call reluctance or, oh, be honest. Yes, thank you, David. Sometimes it's hard to reach out, right? You know you should do it. I'll tell you. One of my clients, Tom Story, do you guys know Tom? He said this quote, I don't know if it was his or he got it from somewhere, visibility beats ability. And I love that. I was like, oh, that's so great. Even though I'm always working, we're always working to get better. We're studying the market. We're going to conferences. We're going to meetings like this. We're always trying to boost our ability, but visibility beats ability. So my question to you is, how are you're trying to be visible and valuable on social. Maybe you do some Facebook ads, or maybe you're on a bus bench here and there, or whatever you're doing, but how are you being visible and valuable to your clients, your sphere, your referral partners, your strategic alliances, your people? So it helps me, that quote helps me remember to just show up and be visible and serve, and I don't have to be perfect. I just need to show up and serve. That is it. So one thing that also helps me is to set a target. My goal every day is to reach out to 3 to 5, have 3 or 5 or more reach outs per day, proactive reach outs to my clients and sphere and partners, and yeah. And often that's 10 or 20, but I go for a minimum of 3 to 5. And if you aren't doing this yet, make it 1. You can send a text to a client today, it takes 30 seconds. You can send a video. Oh, one of the greatest ways to be visible and valuable to your clients, send a video. And one thing that I do is I always try to think, okay, what's the purpose of my call? And how can I serve? And I often reach out to my clients, even if I know they have gifts left from their last order. How are you? What else can I be doing for you? Did you get the letters that go with the gift? You know, this, that, whatever. Your version might be, hey, just checking in. How's your family? Happy anniversary, by the way. It's been a year since you were in your home. You know, how are you guys doing? How's everything? All right, now just so you know, I'm going to keep in touch. I really believe in building a relationship with you and being here for you no matter what. You know, are you getting our newsletters? Are they valuable for you? Okay. All right, the purpose of my call is to say thank you. My purpose of my call is to invite you to our next client event. You guys find a reason. So the only reason sometimes it's awkward when you call is you don't have a reason. So just create the reason to call and make it valuable for them, okay? Let's talk about handwritten cards. Never underestimate the power of a handwritten card, honestly. Like, this is so, none of this giving and generosity has to be epic or expensive. Sometimes it's just like the thoughtful thought that counts. Just writing a card. I have stacks of cards on hand, and even with me, I've been in Toronto or in this area all week, and I have cards with me just to action gratitude at any given moment. I believe gratitude's a verb. So just have cards on hand to be able to send a card at any given moment. One of my clients, he's a mortgage broker, one of the top in Calgary, young guy. He was skeptical about cards, less kind of old-fashioned. So he did an experiment, and he wrote 2 cards a day for about 4 or 5 months, and he tracked the results, and he wrote them to his sphere, his clients, his referral partners, everybody kind of in his circle, whether they were a client or not. Tracked the results, $35,000 in referral and repeat business from handwritten cards, directly from handwritten cards. If you're looking for a way to inspire yourself, write 1 card a day for the next 2 weeks and see what happens, or a month, and kind of keep it going. Gifts, let's talk about gifts in general. This is literally what we do as a company, support business owners with their gifts. Why? Because they're one of the most powerful and scalable forms of generosity. Taylor was able to thank 27 people at once, right? There's power in that. So, and by the way, gifts in general, not just Cutco gifts, but gifts in general for centuries have simply been a vehicle to value a relationship, right? Okay, so let's break down gifts in your business. Closing gifts, what are you doing each time this happens? Are you making generosity easy on yourself, or are you running around trying to figure it out every time? Oh my God, what do I get them? Okay. Sometimes you know a lot about a client, right? Sometimes you know a little bit less, right? So as you grow and scale, it's really important to get a system around this that's consistent, that works, all right? So what do you give? There's lots of great choices out there, all right? There's lots. Consider this when making your choices for gifts. If your gift can represent how you want the relationship to go, make your gift, or at least part of it, long-lasting, memorable, useful, high quality. Why? So that it becomes an artifact or a symbol of the relationship you have with the client. Like, it's so cool. Like, every time they use the gift you gave them, then they remember, or they think of the experience of buying or selling. It becomes commemorative. Does that make sense? And versus something that's just consumed and gone. There's nothing there to remind the client of the experience they had with you, right? Just gift cards or baskets. Nothing against, I really love local goods and pairing that with something that's memorable and long lasting, okay? Referral gifts. What are you doing when a referral comes in? You might have a system here. Have you thought about it? And some of you I know are brand new, but hopefully this will get, oh yeah, what should I do when a referral comes in? Best practice, do you want to hear best practices from top agents? Okay, when a referral comes in, and you might already be doing this, handwritten card with a coffee on you goes out, $10 Starbucks gift card to me is something, their favorite coffee shop, something to acknowledge the behavior of them sending you a referral. And then when that referral closes, you have a really great opportunity to thank them again. Don't miss that opportunity. A successful referral thank you. Your most successful referral sources. So we've seen agents do different things there. Dinner out, Yetis, personalized Yetis, Cutco. We have a Cutco piece called the Spreader, and we can engrave thanks for spreading the word. How cheesy is that? People love it. Like, it's our top referral gift of all time. So imagine giving this instead of with bagels and cream cheese from a local bakery to start someone's collection that's referring you, and build from there instead of a $100 gift card that's consumed and gone. VIP recognition. What do I mean by this? How many of you have a database over 10 people right now? Awesome. Okay. Now, for those of you that are new, this might be a little bit like, just keep it in mind as you grow your database, okay? But guaranteed 20%, 80-20 rule, 20% of your people are going to give you 80% of your business and results and referrals. So, do you know who your top 20% are? And more importantly, do they know how much you appreciate them? So when your closing gifts and referral gifts are streamlined, it frees you up to focus on this group and make that group grow. What you focus on expands. So for my For my gold group, I call them, or A+, or top 20%, or just my VIPs, I've done different things. We've done different things for them. Personalized Yetis, obviously unexpected pieces of Cutco. Then you can kind of deliver the unexpected. We've done seasonal care packages. Like one year I did Halloween cookie decorating kits for like my top 20 it was only, not top 20%, but top 20. So, doing different things, and we've done a couple client parties. All right, so the gratitude machine is built to make generosity your default setting, right? So you can show up as who you want to be every single time for every single client. And you don't have to do this alone. We can help build parts of it with you. You still have to do the proactive reach outs, the handwritten cards, okay? All right. I'm gonna end this part, and then I'm in the next couple minutes, and then I'm gonna give you guys just a couple of referral scripts to help with the referral skill set, and then I'll end the last couple of minutes just speaking on Cutco Gifts and exactly just price points and how we can support you if you need help, okay? But this gentleman is Derek Timmons, and I'm gonna end this part showcasing the gratitude machine in action with this guy. Now, you probably don't know him. He's a realtor in Calgary, where I'm from. But Derek started 5 years ago. When I met him, he was doing about 2 to 3 deals a year. He was a part-time realtor. He's moving into real estate from construction. Now he does over 100 deals a year. I take full credit. Just kidding. Don't at all. He's an amazing guy, but when we met, he did a minimum order of gifts. And so with his first order, I sent him a piece of Cutco to say thank you with a handwritten card, and have done that every single time on every single order, building his collection through time, modeling what he can do with his clients as his clients continue to come back to him. We kept in touch with those proactive reach outs. I would text him, I video him, and he's engaging. Now, not everybody engages with you, right? Sometimes you reach out, that's okay. I leave a lot of messages and videos too, and that's fine if they don't respond right away. But Derek, we're engaging, doing proactive reach outs. Recently, he became a part of my VIP group, like I was just talking about. So I sent him something just to tell him how much he meant to me. Watch this. Whoop.
I want to take a quick second to
Guys hear that?
show some love and appreciation for my friend Vonny Fast. I sent to the mailbox today, and I had this package in the mail. Well, Vonny, I told her, you know what? I love my Cutco stuff. I love my Cutco stuff so much. And I asked her, hey, can you send me a pizza cutter? And she got me a pizza cutter. So,
Of course I did.
I'm thinking to myself, that's so cool. But I took the extra step, the extra mile, and got a pocket knife with my name on it. And then she got one for my son. Thank you, Vonny. Wow, what a cool thing to come home to at the end of the day.
So not every client ends up being like Derek, right? But if you play generously, you give first, and you build a system around gratitude, you have more and more people out there looking for ways to refer you. Kind of like this, sort of.
So sick. I love Cutco. I love my Cutco stuff. It's like my dream and my ambition every day to wake up and make sure that I can send more clients to you so you can send me more free Cutco. How weird is that? I don't even care what side I go to anymore. I just see myself, who do I know that needs knives? And then I get a free piece of Cutco. Thank you for the gifts. I really do appreciate it.
So however you're giving out there, however you choose to show up generously for your clients, remember giving starts the receiving process. And for me, truly, honestly, so much of the receiving for me is the relationship itself that I get to have. Like, it's cool. I was telling my wife, actually, I was telling her a few weeks ago, I put the relationship first before the result. One thing that is, though, my happy place in my business is when the result intersects with the relationship. Like when you get to serve more people that you really love being around with their homes and their investments, and you really know that you're helping them. So, it's so great that I get to help Derek and now his growing team doing over 100 deals a year with his gifts and help him stay organized. But it's that, if Derek stopped ordering gifts for me tomorrow, I still have that relationship, and that's what matters. That's what matters. to me ultimately. Okay, so speaking of receiving, I'm gonna take just a few minutes and ask you a couple questions and give you some referral skills, because I think we talked about the mindset here about referrals and generosity and all those things, and I think those things really matter. But you sprinkle in a little bit of skill set and your referral game is gonna just skyrocket. Okay, a quick question for everybody here. Has anyone here felt awkward asking for referrals before? Yeah, totally. Like almost everybody I ask. I think there's a vulnerability in asking. And by the way, I'm a huge believer in give. And then it's totally okay to ask for referrals, right? It's how you do business, how you want to do business. We need to educate people on that, all right? How many of you have received referrals already without asking? Has anyone ever received a referral without asking for it? Totally. So you're going to receive referrals because you're awesome at what you do. But where I go with it is, how many referrals have we left on the table because we just didn't ask? Or more importantly, I think people put too much pressure on the ask part. Does anyone do that? Like, I gotta ask for referrals. When do I ask? How do I ask? Where do I ask? Like, there's a way to do this that's so much more comfortable, or at least was for me. So I'm gonna give you 2 game-changing skill set tips, at least for me, that helped me run a 100% referral-based business for years and years and years. Number 1, practice your ask. Do you practice things in your business yet? Some of you, or have ever? Have you ever practiced a script, like a listing presentation, or learned some, like if you were an actor or an actress, or you would memorize your lines, and then you're able to walk on stage and be confident, and does it look inauthentic? No. So one thing I've learned is actually practicing behind the scenes, sometimes just running things through out loud is really powerful to eliminate awkwardness and hesitancy. Because if you're like, oh my God, conditions came off. Oh, they're so excited right now. And oh my gosh, I should probably ask for referrals. And what should I say? And oh my God, who do you know that? And you're thinking about it. And you're like, ugh. And then you like deer caught in the headlights. And then you're like, well, no, they'll see my email signature. I'm never too busy for their referrals. Hopefully they'll see that. And I'm not saying don't have that on your email signature. But you guys know, like, practice behind the scenes. Hey, Darlene, you know, actually, you're so awesome. You probably know awesome people. Who do you know of your friends, family, you know, neighbors? Is there anyone in your circle that might be looking for help with real estate? Have they been talking about buying or selling in the next 6 months to a year that I could support? One of my realtor clients, she's like, I would love if you would invite me into the conversation and introduce me. That would be great. Oh yeah, actually my daughter's boyfriend is looking for, okay, so just find a way. I'm gonna send you referral scripts. I should have told you that before you wrote that down. I'm gonna send you referral scripts at the end, just so you know. Now, but the number 1 thing is to plant the seed ahead of time. This eliminates awkwardness, at least it did for me. Tom's story, I'm gonna bring him up again because I didn't learn this from Tom. I was doing it in my business for years and years and years, planting the seed. But Tom does it in such a beautiful way for realtors, okay? So what Tom has a great business. 86% of his business, I think, is referral-based and repeat business, like strong, and he's already still pulling clients in all the time from different YouTube, and he's got a podcast now and different things. He's on the news sometimes. He integrated this one sentence into his listing and buying presentation 2 years ago, increased his referral business by 46%. And I'm gonna send you this I'm gonna send you this at the end. But all he says, once he finds out what's really important to the client, he's sitting with them, finding out, you know, how you ask them all the questions, right? What matters to them? What do they want to call them? And a bit, you know, you're doing that, the thing you do. Then he just says, and you'll put it in your own words, right? And you'll practice this, right? Right, everybody? Practice it. Is Mr. and Mrs. Buyer Seller, thank you so much for, you know, sharing that with me. That we're gonna get the job done. Here's the market conditions. I mean, this is what to expect. You know, and just so you know, my main goal here, I wanna let you know 86% of my business is based on referral. Now, if you're new, you might just say, hey, just so you know, I'm building a business through referral. All right? So my main goal is to do such a great job for you, David, that you can't help but refer me to your friends and family. I wanna earn that trust and the right for that. Just find a way to verbalize it in a service-oriented way. And that way, They're thinking from the very beginning, as they're impressed by you, as you go the extra mile for them, as you make that deal happen, when conditions come off, and I know not every experience becomes great, but if it does, they need to know how to give back to you. A lot of people want to give back to you, they just need to know how. How many of you ask for Google reviews? Yeah. Ask for referrals too. One of my clients, he told me he's gifting sellers more now. He always just gifted buyers, he's giving now a gift on sellers, and 24 hours later he sends a text asking for a Google review with the link and referrals. He's like, Vonny, it's day and night. When he was making the point of giving a gift and the reciprocity, it's interesting, he's not doing it to get, but he's noticed the difference when he gives a gift and when he doesn't. And when he asks for the review and the referrals, they get it done within 20 minutes. He's like, they get it done when I've given a gift 24 hours prior. It's kind of interesting, right? Giving starts that receiving process. Ask for referrals when you're asking for reviews as well. Okay. Last couple things is why we came into the industry 15 years ago is because we found, how many of you are giving gifts in your business, by the way? Spend money on gifts? Yeah, most agents were spending money on gifts to say thank you, which is lovely. And what we found is most agents were giving baskets, gift cards, bottles of wine, dinner out, Home Depot cards, that kind of thing. Those are great gifts, you guys, they're great. But what happens to most gifts is 90% of gifts are consumed right away. You give it, they like it, they eat it, they drink it, it's gone. And so we wanted to get you something that would last for their family, forever. That's why we partnered with Cutco. Cutco, for those of you that don't know, they're like the Rolex or Ferrari or Yeti of kitchen knives is a good way to put it. But they're guaranteed beyond a lifetime. The only knives in the world that are, people have them for 30 years, pass them down to their kids, and use them every single day all the time. They usually become their go-to favorites. So what we did for realtors is why don't we take our most popular tools, the ones we know everybody will use every day all the time, we put them so that you could feel confident gifting these to most everybody, whether they cook a ton or not. And we put them in packages for you between 80 to 300 price point, so you could pick and choose gifts according to your budget. And then we have the ability to engrave on the blade. We can put your logo, we can do custom logo, we can do with gratitude, like what Alex was saying, we can welcome home, congratulations, we can put your name on there or their names on there for a little extra cost, like the family name, made especially for the Smith family. And what this does keeps you top of mind forever in their home, in the kitchen when they're entertaining with friends and family. One of my clients told me recently they tracked 4 deals from a conversation that started about the knives at a dinner party the realtor wasn't at. But your gift is there. And sparking conversation, those are really cool things. Every time they use it, you get a piece of their heart, mind, and it creates a system. So what we do for you is, because this gift works for a lot of people, meaning it's universal, it's unique, and it's gluten-free, which is great too. I just made that up. See, when I don't try to be funny. So what we do is we set you guys up with a small supply of gifts according to your volume. We ship them to you custom engraved all up front, so you have them on hand, and then we bill you over time, so it's easy on cash flow, so you have what you need on hand. So when you have a need for a gift, closing gift, referral gift, a VIP thank you, pop by, you just grab it, go give it, it's done. It's taken care of, and you're not scrambling at the last minute trying to figure out a gift, right? You can always add personal touches, rum, wine. Here, I'll show you. Sharp knives and alcohol, by the way, we highly recommend that pairing. This is an example of a gratitude box. So we put the knife of your choice in there, and then you add the personalized item on the side. Olive oil if they don't drink, right? Then put a Band-Aid in the cart if you give wine, all right? So in summary, all the gifts range from 80 to 300. So from pizza cutters, you could give with pizza on moving day. So once the pizza's eaten, we have these ice cream scoops that Richard Robbins talks about from on stage, way too much. He talks because he loves it so much. But here's the scoop, you're the best. We have these ice cream scoops that are just pretty incredible. This is the little knife that could. Imagine putting that with your charcuterie board, or in our gratitude box, like I just showed you. 2-piece packages. Okay, so I wanted to do 2 special things for you guys today. You need your phones. Grab your phones. And then we'll open it up for a bit of Q&A here, and then we'll be done. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. That's my cell number on there. So Put me in your phones if I'm not already in your phones. So I'll give you a second to do that. So everybody who texts me is going to get in the draw to win a piece of Cutco. We're not going to do it. I'm not going to do the draw today, but when I get home this weekend, I'm going to take all your names, I'm put them in the wheel of names, I'm going to film it, and I'm going to send it to Alex and announce the winner. It'll be so dramatic and so great. Okay, so here's what I need you to do if you want to be in the draw. Everybody who texts me is going to get in the draw to win a piece of Cutco, a famous accessory piece of Cutco. Okay, and by the way, I will send you referral scripts, like thorough ones, okay? So here's my number, put me in your phone. It's Vonny, by the way, just so you have my name, V-O-N-N-Y. Was that on the screen? It was not. V-O-N-N-Y. All right, when you're ready, so that's my number. Text me your name. Email's great too, because that's easier for me to send referral scripts by email. So text me your name. I have to know who you are. Now, that gets you in the draw. If you're interested in the gifts though, you want more information, want pricing, you possibly want to look at ordering some gifts, quote, whatever, you have some curiosity around the gifts, add the word sharp to your text to me, and that'll indicate to me to follow up with you and help you. I'll get you all the information that you need. We might hop on Zoom, grab a quick call, whatever. I'm going to take care of you. So text me your name and email to get in the draw. Sharp if you're interested in the gifts, add the word sharp. And then if you put sharp, add number of clients to thank ahead of you. Just like, oh, I got 5 closings. I'm kind of thinking of thanking some referral partners. Just put a number there. I'll follow up with everybody, but that'll help me prioritize. For those of you that just to have some urgency there. Okay, everyone good? Can I move to the next slide? Okay, and then I thought, I'm staying. I have all the gifts in a room down the hall. I'm staying for the next hour or so. For as long as you guys need me, I am here, other than I have to catch a flight at 4. So I am here. And anybody that wants to come talk about gifts and see them, possibly order gifts if you need some gifts, come see me today. And I thought I would say thank you with anybody that actually does need gifts and wants to order gifts today. I'm going to buy you a piece of Cutco for your home, or an extra 125 in free Cutco, okay? So just know that, and if you've got to run, I totally understand. I will follow up based on your text, so don't worry, you won't miss out, but just come see me today if you have a chance to do that. And I think that's it. So I just want to open it up, and look, I took away, 30, I don't know when we started. It was 40 minutes, I think, but yeah, any questions on anything? Gifting, referrals, reaching out to people? Yes?
Question.
Yeah.
Remember the old superstition?
Oh, yes.
Big knives.
Thank you for saying that.
Talk about that. Is that still around?
Oh, yes. So in some cultures, there's a superstition around giving knives, yes. Now, we have researched this extensively, and we know this. I have a lot of clients, realtors actually from different ethnicities too, that gift their communities. So it's typically with older generation, typically, not always, but older generation Asian folks, some Eastern European, certain cultures. So our understanding is when you gift a sharp object in those cultures with a coin, that's important, because they'll either give the coin back to you, which means they bought it off you, or they'll keep the coin, depending on the culture. So what we do, and I don't have it on me right now, is if you like, we can put, now, if you're not dealing with those cultures, then you don't need this, or we could include it in your gifts anyway, and then it's just a free nickel and a cute little poem. But we have this insert called the Gift of Good Luck, and it's a really cool poem that addresses the superstition. We attach a coin to it, and we tuck it in with the gifts for you. So my understanding in those cultures, especially with the older generation folks, before we had these coin cards, if you didn't know and you handed somebody a knife gift, and in their culture there was a superstition, they would run. So our realtors would tell us this. They're like, yeah, I got a coin mailed to me. It was weird. I didn't know what was going on. Or they would run and get you like the nickel or the penny and give it to you before you left, the possession date or whatever. So they won't hold it against you if you don't know, but we can put those little coin cards in. Give with money, give with a nickel or a penny. But nickels are easier now. Thanks for asking that. That's really great. Alex.
So, as the recipient of a random blade through your mail, I didn't expect it, and I didn't know. Can I grab the sample of what you sent me?
Yeah, it's on that desk, yeah. Oh, and I forgot, while he's doing that, I hope you guys don't mind. Yeah, I'm gonna cut a penny with a pair of scissors. If you haven't never seen that, you have to. But this is an example of what we can do. And this is the spreader that comes packaged, like, and thanks for spreading the word. Super cheesy again, but fun. Has anyone seen the Cutco scissors cut a penny? I did this on the Tom Story podcast because they made me. They made me. I've cut over 2,000 pennies or more with these scissors and they've never been sharpened. Like the quality of this stuff, yeah, okay.
So, Vonny wasn't the top of mind, I'm sorry. I think of Vonny's products as being things in the kitchen. So, I get this box and I open this up and I'm thinking that this is really cool but strange. Why am I getting a knife? And so I open it up and I'm thinking, well, this is, oh wow, it's a fillet knife. And engraved on it, it says dragons can be beaten. And I'm thinking, this is creepy. This is right on. When we send out this recording, I'll also send out the blog that I wrote after.
Oh, so
and
great.
It was something I posted on social media that she had caught about that. And I forget the entire post, but and I'm looking at it, but that sounds familiar. And then I find the note, and it's from her. Oh my God, she's creeped my social media. She's found something that
I'm a ninja. I'm a ninja stalker. I'll own it.
So I'm sitting there now, I'm like, wow, this is cool. So if you catch like a bigger fish that you need to clean, you can open this up, and the knife extends to a longer one.
Do you want me to do it? Do you want me to do it?
Here, catch.
Awesome.
And so then looking at this,
You unlock and you extend.
It's got a sharpening stone. It's got a sharpening stone on the back. And then, for those of you that think it's cruel, when you fillet a fish, you know, you've got the fillet there, and you use this, and you grab the tail, and you can just fillet the thing right off the skin, so it's got like the thing to hold the fish. I'm like, this is so cool. And then I'm like, I can't believe you did that. And this, I don't even know what it's worth, but it's expensive. And so, I think some of you might remember when I wrote that and I posted it, I got such coverage, like so many people said, wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I guess you probably owe us a referral.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I should, right?
The impact was amazing. And I had gifted, I think, one other thing from you.
Yeah.
I had sent some friends who do pizza night like every week.
Oh, that's right, you did.
I sent them a pizza cutter with their last name on it.
Yeah.
And so I know that whenever they are cutting a pizza or we're at their house for pizza, they're like, remember?
Yeah.
And it's really impactful. So this blew me away.
Yeah.
But I think you can have the same impact on your clients when you do special things like that.
Yeah.
So thank you, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you. It's so, I'll end with this thought, is it's not about the knives here. It's not. Yeah, they're good. But this is all about how you treat and engage with people, and this is a vehicle for delivering gratitude. That's it. That's it. So, any other questions, you guys? Thank you so much. I don't want to cut you off, but I realize this went till 11, so I'm here. So, unless you have a burning question that you think will help everybody in this group, anyone? Anyone? Don't hesitate.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.